Welcome back, everyone, to a day of first for LCS Challengers League. Last match was the first time we got to see a content creator team join our ranks, and it's pretty exciting to see who could actually join us next. You never know, Mr. Beast, Moist Critical. There's a lot of potential in the next chapter of Tier 2, Cubby.
I mean, I always love the content creators coming in. I saw that we had Skara and Shifter co-streaming the Toast matches. That's great. But also excited to see a little bit of where I got my start in the esports space, make an entry into Tier 2 for the first time, which is what you're kind of setting up and teasing. I'm going to give this to Mazel for the pop-off. Mazel.
We have to give a huge, warm welcome to Maryville University into the NACL, the first collegiate roster to make it here into the Tier 2, but it was not only that, it's the way they did it, the track record they have, the history that this school has in esports, but also just League of Legends as a whole, right? We've seen so many promotions, but so much success from Clerky, from the school, from the players. It's been incredible to watch. They rival in the collegiate space the likes of TLC and things like that we have in an ACL.
Maryville University, the Kings in the north, and they'll be facing off an org that was plagued with visa issues a little bit earlier. Now they're going to be firing on all cylinders at the start of the split in Evil Geniuses Challengers. But let's get on to Maryville University, because for Maryville University, I mean, as achievements go, this is monumental on a long list that they already have, Mazel.
Yeah, they, as we were kind of alluding to, right, they do have just a track record of success, and we'll hopefully be bringing up that graphic of the timeline. Oh, nope, this is the roster graphic. Hopefully we'll have the timeline coming up. But all the graduations into NACL. Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
I mean, I know that Maryville, like, they've been trying for so long to really break the barrier, and they've come close before. I think notably, the closest they got was actually 2020 Scouting Grounds, where they were one game away against 100 Thieves Next for being that second team to get all 5 of their players in the Scouting Grounds. Some still ended up being able to go, but this is the first time that any team has officially broken that barrier to be in here for a regular season. That was a big deal. They smashed their way through the promotion tournament, only dropping to AoE, which was a very close 3-2 series. And I'm really excited to see what this team can do. As I had the privilege of kind of double dipping in my prep for NACL last week by covering the CLAW Championships. And now we get to see if Maryville are able to compete every single time they hit the Rift against our Tier 2 teams we have here in North America.
Now, Clerky, the director over at Maryville, said that he feels this roster embodies both the culture and ethic that he has striven to achieve since starting Maryville University. You know, it's a NACL promotion. It's a CLAW finalist. It is an org that has put on, it is a university, excuse me, that has put on so much work. I know you've been a big fan of them, Mazel, but all those achievements they've acquired, it's got to feel good to top it off by getting an LCS Challengers League.
It absolutely does. And while it has been a little while since the national championship has found its home at Maryville University, you can see at the start, when it was founded in 2015, a couple years later, they were already national championships. And it was off the back of building a strong foundational structure for development in collegiate. Then they went on to win 2019. Then they didn't have finals because of COVID. But in 21 spring, they promoted Niles and Iconic to Golden Guardians, two standouts who, while taking a step back from professional play, showed that the collegiate pipeline is a possibility. And while you see some maybe less favorable odds towards the end of the timeline that we have here, it is still Maryville, the first collegiate squad making it to NACL with that track record and with a lot of these young developing stars.
And it's like, overall, I mean, as a college, they've had 12 national championships across all titles, including those 2 in LOL. Also worth noting, they're a 4-time finalist in collegiate, which is a record, as they did fall 1-3 to UST this past week. I know that the team aren't fully scrimmed, but man, the prep they put in for that collegiate tournament, it was more aggressive than what some of our challengers teams go through in their week to week, as they really sprinted to make sure that they were ready to go once their college year wrapped up academically, so they were ready for that tournament. And again, they earned their way in here with pretty impressive wins throughout the promotion relegation.
And I just also want to shout out, we were talking about kind of accolades, but it is also just that history of promotion as well. The Spyrax early, we got to see play. We got to see APA play earlier. It's all things that stem from this Maryville University.
To take you back to last month before the CLOL finals, we had the promotion relegation tournament. Only 4 teams could advance through. Maryville University kind of had a scare against AoE, but the Kings would not be denied, Cubby. They would best Team Liquid first to get in.
It was tough. I really do want to credit Surdy in this series going back, who, fun fact, is actually a part of TL Challengers still this split. Which is great. I feel like he's the top winner that I wish we saw in this league, but Maryville earned it through their team play. And honestly, it was a really impressive run for them throughout the tournament where, frankly, from the first series they played, that first best of 3, they looked like the second strongest team here next to AoE, and they showed that and proved that with their 3-1 victory over TLF.
Maryville University, one of our contenders right now, but they will be facing off against Evil Geniuses Challengers, their opponents on the Rift. And this time, one that'll be firing again on all cylinders. They have their entire roster on week 1. Everyone's favorite anime waifu, Soul, Prospect Jungler Shaden, the battle-hardened Ryoma and Smoothie. And back at long last from all these visa issues, the throne has been filled. King will finally be starting on EGC, Mazel.
Was on Cloud9 Challengers or Academy before Lost took over the position, but man, it's been a long time coming. It just feels like we have both rosters that we were promised so long as Maryville been at the top of Collegiate, and they finally make their way into Tier 2, but it's EGC who have taken a lot of the spotlight. We saw so much show outs from Shaden, and King will be a valued part of this carry duo.
And I mean, when it comes to this roster, it was a disappointing last split for EG.
Absolutely.
Even,
yeah.
You know, with Robbie Bob and Mobility, shoutouts to them who were each at the top 4 of Collegiate, and Robbie Bob actually picking up a win on the B stream slash path to LCS that we had earlier as he's competing with Supernova this split. But this roster we had high expectations for. Like, we looked at these 5 and said, hey, this could be a top 5, top 6 team in the 16-man league that we had last split. And I still feel somewhat the same way, especially about Ryoma and Shaden, who I still hold in very high regard, as well as King, who was in visa jail for all of last split, but is going to be with EG for the start of this split, and it really excited to see him back in this league.
Marcel, you were talking about this one, Cloud9 Academy. Had a stint starting in NA back in 2020, but don't forget, he's an OPL champion. Yeah. On top of the Academy champion, you know, being a multi-time finalist. His split last summer, 3rd place finish where he shared a stage alongside Shaden as well. He adds to the already stacked carry potential that EGC have.
Yeah. Also, not just an OPL champion, but the winningest player in the history of that league.
Yeah.
Won more than any org did, which was very impressive for King. And yeah, that LCS stint didn't go the way that he wanted, but still someone that I hold in pretty high regard. Yeah. And really hoping to see him return to some of the form that we saw from him in the past with the likes of C9, as he was really good.
And I think also there's just that sheer confidence in this guy. At least it's been a while since we've talked to him, but we did have him in the studio the last time around when he was with us and got to hear that he does believe in himself. He feels like he's never performed worse than he has the last time around, right? He always feels like he's getting better. And with this composition, with some confidence maybe hold over from that first split with this roster coming together and finally having King, maybe that's the momentum they need.
Also, shout out to Busio, who's co-streaming this, by the way.
Hey, we love you, Busio!
But yeah, that's good to see King, of course, popping off. Hope to see more of that today.
Sometimes I wonder just how confident is confident. I remember last summer when we saw him on the stage, he was just like almost knocked out asleep with like the hand warmer on his eyes. It's a vibe. It's a breeze when you are the King. Well, let's go watch the King play on the Rift right now. I hear Champion Select is ready. So Mazel, go ahead here. This time I will hand it off to you. I know you were waiting last time. Here you go, brother. Take us to game number 1.
We got a game number 1 with our first collegiate representative. Oh man, I couldn't be more happy. But we also have EGC again, rosters that we feel like were promised to us here in Tier 2, going battle in our first day of the NACL. We have EGC on the blue side over there. They do ban away that Jace, while on traditional red side for MU, matching their color scheme, they ban away the Graves towards Shaden. Shaden, a monster on these marksman carry picks.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Kindred ban come through next over if we're going to really, try and knock down the Shaden pool as MU looking to maybe protect Odd Orange a bit. Of course, Shaden, back when he was playing only solo queue, hit rank 1 and rank 2 simultaneously, mostly playing the likes of Graves, Kindred, but also I gotta say, very good Nidalee Viego and Lee Sin. Saw a lot of that Viego show up last split, where I think that was Shaden's most successful champion as a whole. But this time around, this is a roster built to enable Shaden and Soul. Those are the two young pieces that EG has. Shaden's one that, talking about EG last split, they still feel like they have a great prospect in Shaden. We've really now in his third split of competitive play, I'm looking to see what he can do, because I have very high hopes for him and Ryoma, that mid-jungle duo.
Yeah.
Especially in a meta where mid-jungle is so important.
They've got to have that cohesion from Smoothie. I know talking with him, he is going to try to be the glue that sticks this team together, keep everybody in check whenever possible. But Maryville on the other side, we'll get to the conversation about them, because I think we have seen in the past and in their track record, they are a team that thrives off of momentum. If they are ahead, if they are feeling confident, they look so damn good. The conversations come when they are on the back foot, where we've seen them fail time and time again. Now, we do get through this first phase of drafts. We did have the Olaf band, the Cassante band, the Nico band, the Aphelios band joining all those. And it's the first pick, Yuumi, because that's just where we live now, I guess.
Hooray. We've got more Yuumi, likely Zeri against what looks to be Lucian, and likely Nami coming on in. Maybe a Lulu to switch things up. Who knows? But
who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Ooh, whoa. Ooh.
All right, here comes the Zeri. Woo. Where they pair it up from here, though, you could hold Gragas for the triple flex, but can also answer the Vi. A few picks available. Curious what Shaden ends up going for, if that ends up being the choice. And also worth shouting out, hey, Niles drew 3 bans himself, so a lot of focus going towards him on the top side. We'll have to see. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Ari denied from MU, as they do like that Vi Osari combo. And oh boy, no Nami. It's the new Milio coming in.
Okay, the Emilio with the Lucian combo for Scary Jerry and Zyko.
Lucian gets a lot of range from this, like the bonus range, especially with RFC. It's the same thing as Lucian Nami, except I think you can kind of hit harder earlier. You aren't as reliant on getting that mandate. You can just kind of dash in whenever you get that W on you and go. So, like this, interested to see if Zyko's able to play this. Milio was enabled for C-Law, so this is something that Maryville should be practicing on. Of course, Maryville, we are on patch 13.11, the live patch that you're playing right now on your servers, but worth noting that Maryville, they were heavily prepping on 13.9, the MSI patch, I believe. So a couple patches ago, Maryville haven't really been scrimming on the new one. They've been giving some of their team a rightful break after their trip out to LA. Here to see what kind of form they look in here, but still a team that we've really praised for how they were able to play as a stack of 5. This is a team that does play together.
True. The thing that I love to see from them as well is the cohesion out of mid lane. They typically go for very mobile mid laners to connect with the rest of the team. LeBlanc is definitely that case. We do see the Puppy locked in. This is a ban we've actually seen through the LPL a decent amount. It does provide a lot of that front foot aggression, and Shaden will be looking to apply that one with a Gragas in the top lane for Soul.
It's a bit of a Shaden special, honestly. This is one of the tankier picks that he likes to play, where he can still find some early aggression. Niles, he did play Gnar into Gragas in the C-Law finals against Porsche, and was able to net 20-30 CS leads in this matchup. So we'll see if Niles, even eating all those bans in the first phase, he gets his hands on that champ that we know he's comfortable on. Have to see what he can do as, of course, a player that we've seen. People remember the LCS stint he had with Golden Guardians, which wasn't pretty, but people forget what he did in Proving Grounds the split after, where he actually took third in, or made top 4 in PG with that Golden Guardians Academy squad way back with Rosethorn, Prismal, and some familiar faces that we have.
That's the familiarity of this scene for a few of these big members, but specifically the reintroduction of a new squad into the NACL in Maryville, meeting up against some old foes, some tryhards here from the Challenger seed at EGC. It is going to be nothing but a bloodbath here, I'm sure. As we'll be getting into it now, I do just have to take a little moment, because I spent so much of my early casting career casting for Maryville University. Me and Rebel Fox casting every single time they were in CLAW, every time that Shipley would give me a moment. And this is a big, warm welcome to Maryville University as they take the Rift for their first time ever in NACL. They go up against stalwart competition in our roster that was promised for Evil Geniuses Challengers.
Very cool for Maryville to be that first program to break into Tier 2. As that has really been the goal of that program, as Quirky, has background with E United, even Enemy way back in the LCS. He wanted to build this like it was a pro organization. And Maryville cracking tier 2, very impressive being the sole collegiate team to do so. I do want to focus, though, on this game as EG are going to be on the back foot early against Maryville. Given the comp they have, the Nar LeBlanc should have a lot of priority along with the Vi, but as this game goes on, that double magic damage threat on the top side from Gragas and also the Zerayumi. We saw how it was able to scale in the last game, Mazel. Once you get to that 2-3 item mark, you get a lot of damage and really scary on the Zeri. We'll see if Scary Jerry and the rest of MU can deal with that.
Isn't it funny, though? Scary Zeri, Scary Jerry, maybe just has the upper hand here as it's his namesake. And that's where I want to specify. I am so curious at how Scary Jerry's attempt into Tier 2 is going to be, right? This guy came from Converse University. I remember when the first time I'd ever seen Converse was at the Illini LAN back a couple years ago and got to talk to this Converse roster and hear how motivated specifically Scary Jerry was even back then, and the absolute meteoric rise this guy has had in terms of the carry potential in him. But he has to show what he has in Tier 2 now in a new proving stage.
Also, I gotta say, Get Back and Ryoma, they go a little bit far back too. I just want to. It was 1 year of OPL. Both these players able to compete. Ryoma as well, being an OPL champion before he did come to NA, and I believe it was 2020 at this time with 100 Thieves. So cool to see these two go back. If we have any OPL fans, old OPL fans in the chat, they might get a nice go back to that as we see a nice trade taken by Ryoma. Finds both sides of the queue in this matchup. Well done from him. As at the moment, looks like King and Smoothie missed out on the melee creep, so they're going to have to wait for 2 mage creeps to die until they ding level 2. Scary Jerry and yet Psycho making decent use of that.
We saw in last series, though, all you got to do is play safe and buy time for the Zeri. And Scary Jerry doesn't want to let that happen as best he can. We will look at top side to bot side clears for both Shaden and Odd Orange, leading to some potential skirmishing.
Poppy could be very strong early, those wall bangs. Vi does, I favor Vi, a little bit early power if you are able to get the Vault Breaker out and generally on the map, but the ability that...
That's the exhaust used.
Oh, hold on. That's a lot used.
King getting very, very low as well as the Ignite was popped by Scary Jerry.
Still a heal available here for King as well as a barrier, so I don't think they're going to get dove, but we do have Shaden hovering. Odd Orange as well has cleared a couple more camps, a little bit ahead of the Poppy, which we expect given the Vi speed of the clears. And could have a little bit of a skirmish around this bot crab if Shaden decides to match. As top lane, priority going to be in favor of Niles.
And I want to go back to where we've seen the kind of 2v2 work out so far is I think such an interesting combo while we see the combo of junglers go at it over a Scuttle Crab. I think such an interesting combo could be how this bot lane works out for both sides in terms of cohesion with the rest of the team. I know talking with Smoothie, he's very happy to be playing with King. He feels more confident in the lane and feels more like he can make active decisions to some extent. And I think this combo, again, Smoothie was kind of looking forward to this, but it is just now about how Smoothie unlocks King as his duo.
And King, again, someone that we have high expectations for. Some of the accomplishments that King has had in Challengers have been pretty good. Those C9A teams were very strong when he was playing with the likes of Malice, Shaden himself. King always a big part of that. A player kind of like Niles, feel like a lot of fans remember him for his short LCS stint, which wasn't the best. Was Sven stepping back in later, but King, when he has played at this level, has been one of the stronger players that we have had. Great to see King back. Hopefully he's able to give it his all this split. His situation unfortunate last split, but great to have him back here.
All about the growth from split to split. Also, Smoothie had mentioned, King taking a little bit of time off, had to knock off some of the rust as King taking a break from competitive. But we'll see if Zeri is going to be that unlocker of the rust here for them. We do have a dragon coming up on the table. We've seen heavy prevalence for early objectives so far today, and I do wonder if that continues to be the case with a team like MU who need to get pretty proactive with this LeBlanc-Vi combo.
I gotta praise Odd Orange a bit. Now, I think that given MU's draft, like LeBlanc Nar countering the solo laners of EG, I would favor Maryville's lanes there a bit. But Get Back and Niles have been able to execute so far, and it's opened things up for Odd Orange to get a double crab and be up a camp or two here on Shaden. So I think Odd Orange making decent use of that. Vi does melt through these early dragons very quickly. That looks to be the focus here for Maryville. As we're going to give that a love tap. This is spotted by EG. You'll see if they get fancy. Scary Jerry dashes in here. Could be dangerous.
Be a little bit. Shaden's looking for the wraparound. MU in some trouble on bottom side. Early flash from Zyko pushes him back, trying to get first blood for EGC, and guess who gets it? It's the king himself. As Auto Orange steps up, tries to get something back, but it's nothing. As Evil Geniuses has come away with this bot lane cleanly.
I mean, that's a good idea for Maryville, given their composition. Vi-mouse through the early dragons, but they did so before they got priority in the bot lane. The Scary Jerry Zyko actually came up to give the dragon a love tap, and they left Auto Orange to their own devices. Shaden able to sneak around them as they were trying to get bot lane prio after. That skip step ended up being very crucial.
Oh no.
Side.
Niles doesn't have any abilities here.
Power shot.
Oh no, he doesn't have Megadar anywhere close. Soul is looking for a solo bolo. There's the flash being forced out. Soul, you tried. I appreciate it.
That's too much.
Oh! One more auto attack.
Nope.
Oh,
Okay.
Niles with the outplay. Flashing that Golden Guardians emblem.
It got a little bit closer than what I thought, but Soul wasn't quite it, man. He got the flash. That was a good play. Could have just, kind of hung back, let things hang. But no, Soul pushes for it. Niles just barely able to live, and now top lane is going to be very lopsided in favor of Gnar. Important for Maryville, as again, you're going up against this Zerayumi. Need to get this game rolling, and with top lane now, being Soul in favor. Okay, well, Niles will fall.
Ryoma should be able to find this. Point blank charm connect should be coming through at some point, but no, just going to use the Spirit Rush to clean up the kill.
Good cleanup there from Ryoma as Soul. Some sins are forgiven. But all eyes now for me go towards this Rift Herald. MU, they need to hit these early objectives to snowball this game forward if they want to have a chance to win against Zerayumi. So far, Scary Jerry and Zyko doing a decent job of freezing out this bot lane, making things available for them as well.
Oh no.
All right, I mean, it was a nice cask from Soul because he did get Niles to take a tower shot. That's what actually opens this up to give Soul a chance. But him pushing for this. Flash comes out just a hair late. Doesn't really commit. And, he finds it. Own plating came back.
He's just like, I need to commit. Oh, and then the healing.
Yeah, it's the fleet. Wasn't quite there. I mean, if he just walked forward, he had the W maybe before Fleet gets in. Wasn't quite able to do that. Soul, a little bit closer than I thought.
Win some, you lose some.
Fleet. Yeah. Big difference there for Niles. He comes out on top, and now Niles pretty far ahead on that top side.
Now Auto Orange with that lead in the top side will just go for the first Rift Herald of the game as well. And again, it's just opening options for Maryville. The solo lanes are super important.
It is, but I will praise the side of EG and Shaden. That bot play did stop that first dragon from going over. So the goal for Maryville was to have a 6-minute dragon so they could kind of snack off that. They missed that. That's really important for the side of EG because that buys them time in this game. And we've seen what Zeri and Yumi can do with time, as they are very deadly on this patch.
King trying to bait out Scary Jerry with Shaden right behind him. The final chapter will come out as well as the lightning crash going into the double knockup from the Keeper's Verdict. They just don't have the damage. The sustain from Zyko is too strong.
Doesn't really matter though. King is able to get pushed, can get a good reset, and this could open up Shaden to actually take the dragon if he so chooses. Is Auto Orange. Hold on.
Scary Jerry, a little bit worse for wear, but trying to bait out King a little bit. There's so much poke coming down in this plate, and this bot lane starting to go in the way of King in terms of pressure.
All right, well, still, I think for EG, the fact that Maryville did not get that first dragon on time, I think that's going to make things really tough for Maryville as this game moves forward. So good prevention there from Shaden. And again, Shaden, it's not like this is the hardest plan in the world for Shaden to just end every clear bot and protect Zeri Lulu, but credit to Shaden. He's been able to hit his timers to make sure that he is protecting that bot lane, where really all the hopes lie for EG. And EG being down 400 gold at this point of the game, that's A-okay for them 10 minutes in. You've got Zeri, you've got Yumi as this game goes on. I think EG's in a pretty comfortable spot.
They definitely are. In the driver's seat for now, even though Maryville has a slight gold advantage. It's still wanting to see that proactivity how to get back in Auto Orange together, because I think this duo can not have the biggest of spikes later on, especially in a comp like EG's, but it is still about bending and breaking this bottom side of the map so far for both sides. And Auto Orange, Shaden, right back to it.
Hey, guess what? Shaden, he cleared 3 camps in his bot as Auto Orange did sneak around this crab take. Shaden, I think he's going to be looking for a bot play. Again, happy to admit defeat for this Dragon as Maryville look to secure that. The fact that Scary Jerry and Psycho did come up to help out Orange this time around, going to ensure that this does go in favor of MU as Shaden does that flash, wants to get creative.
Looking for it, going on to Auto Orange, who will flash over. TP's coming out from Soul. Final chapter on 2 members here, and it could be followed up as well as the fire from Emilio is not enough. Scary Jerry goes down.
I will say a lot burned there from EG to find 1 kills. Maryville are going to get plates in 2 lanes, so I think the Soul TP was a bit much from the side of EG, but still, you can see... Oh, hold on. Ryan was dead.
Yep, Ryan was 100% with that flash. Gonna go down. The chain's connected afterwards, and it's Get Back who gets himself on the board.
I mean, good stuff. Auto Orange could even drop the Herald here, so the post play from Maryville, not too bad. They are down 1k. They did pick up that Dragon, but I think a lot of these plates going in favor of Maryville is something that they somewhat need at this point of the game.
And try to get 2 more down here for EG. As King working away at those plates. There's that charge in the mid lane. Gets 1 more auto. There you go. Got the 2 plates over to Get Back, so that's 4 total in the mid lane now for Maryville.
And Niles picked up 2 on the top side as well. So again, not too bad for Maryville. I think a lot was invested by EG for that play.
Oh, Niles. Oh, he tries to get the hop, skip, and the jump, but he can't do it. And there's the knockback from the Keeper's Verdict. Soul gets the kill in Niles. And man, Shaden has been incredible with the Keeper's Verdict combo so far.
I mean, his Poppy, this was a pick that really emerged when he was playing on C9 with King. And I feel like it's Shaden, one of his best, very proactive early game junglers outside of, you know, some of the tanks that we know him for, or the Warriors, I should say, like we know him for, like the Bruisers, you know, the Viego, the Lee Sin. But Poppy with that tankier identity, Shaden's always able to make early things happen on this champion.
Yeah. Oh, the back doesn't come through fast enough. King luckily reacts just in time, and the heal from Smoothie saves his life. But that's a Storm Razor, and that's why this duo down here is doing so much damage for MU.
King will have quite a bit to pick up on this base. He has been down here for a bit and was able to... okay, not quite yet. We're still hanging Mazel. We're trying to find out if we can get on the Seri. Scary Jerry's out of mana, so he's able to stick around.
And try to pop in another plate down here, but King uses that signal to go forward. As you said, no mana, the Lightning Crash doing some work between the 2. Luckily, you got a lot of healing, though, as Scary Jerry getting a little bit lower. King wants to make his mark. That Ultra Mega Fire Kick is not enough, and Zyko goes out.
MU rotating, but Get Back Auto Orange a little bit late to the play. Going to get chased out by Shaden, who again is protecting his bot lane. Maryville find nothing, and EG continue to weather the early game storm that we expected Maryville to dish out towards them. Maryville don't find enough. They will get outscaled, and at the moment, Maryville, they're behind the curve that I would have liked to see from them given the drafts.
That is a bit of an item differential now coming through from the bottom side. You got the Trin Force plus the Berserker's Greaves completed for King. And we're positioning back up to this top side of the map for a Rift Herald spawn coming up very shortly. We see the lane trades already coming through.
And given, Get Back, he was bot. And we have Soul Laners matching a Scary Jerry. I gotta say, if he's mid, every single time he's got to be careful when he dashes in, as Shaden is going to open up the map a little bit more for him. And I'm curious if EG feel comfortable enough to actually fight this upcoming Dragon. It is Trinity Force ready to go onto King. I think that, you know, preferably I'd like to see 2 items on this area before you end up fighting, but at this point of the game, if EG feel like they can take a good 5v5, I think they can.
Yeah, it's just about execution of targets, I feel like, at this point. They are rocking the double Everfrost comp, which, interestingly enough, I've seen it go wrong more times than right, but you have so much CC set up now for EG as well moving forward.
Miles did just drop out on Mega. Shaden, he kind of hung around here, so he's going to take a little bit of a chunk, at least, from the Gnar. As 45 seconds till that Dragon. EG is still putting a little bit more resources actually into the top side. They might try and sneak this Herald before Dragon gets on the map.
I think MU want to contest it, though. They're bringing a bunch of members as well as Get Back from mid. TP's now coming through, and that's Soul joining the fight. Final chapter will connect in the end as the Everfrost and cast combo goes a bit wide.
Necessary flash there from Auto Orange. His health bar is still reasonable, but that is going to be enough to at least have Maryville shift their focus. They're going to go mid to push the wave and maybe just try and take the, I would say the least, or a little bit unfavorable objective for them in the Herald. I think it's really important for them to stack up the dragons. Hoping that EG maybe takes the trade, takes the dragon themselves. And
we're right back to it.
They can fight. Yeah. I mean, if I'm EG, I try and fight now as well. MU is so chunked out and split. I really feel like EG can take a 5v5, especially after Ryoma TP's back in.
They're trying to get back on the side, but he is just a slippery LeBlanc here. Now, 2,000 health. They're TPing into the pixel brush here. Keeper's verdict will not get utilized. 1,000 health. Couldn't see who got it in the end, but it looks like EG. And they actually get the objective and get out.
I mean, that's everything for EG, because they can sprint straight to the dragon as well and try and get that for themselves. The only option that Maryville has is actually take plates on the top side, which they were feeding over to Scary Jerry. Plates being down, they always get the turret, but still, that's not great for MU. This lead is not big enough given the drafts that we have. And EG, if they are able to secure this dragon, that buys themselves 5 more minutes in the game to get this area going.
Uh-oh. King getting a little bit of payback from Get Back. And a little bit of damage down. We did have another dragon spawn on the rift. We got MU taking full advantage of the first one. We'll see if they can reposition and get this second dragon as well, as we saw Niles pushing out the top side.
I think upcoming fight for Maryville. Next couple of fights we're going to see might be the last couple of breaths that we see for the MU squad. As, okay, Ryoma going to be forced to ult before this dragon. That could be enough to make sure that Maryville is able to walk away with this one on their own. Well played by Get Back. Next
would be pretty big, actually.
Yeah, as no ult for Ari. That is not the highest cooldown in the world compared to some others, but that will be enough to at least force EG to hit the mid wave. And MU, importantly, it's delayed, it's late, but they do get the first 2 dragons for themselves.
It's everything you can stack up for yourself as the wave is coming on the horizon. As now, talking about catching somebody out, the wave has come, and it's all red for MU, but a lightning crash back. Oh my god! No, not like this! You got the cease and desist on the King, and he finally goes down after putting out a massive amount of damage, and that's exactly why you pick this buy. It is a tried and true pick into the Zeri.
I like the proactivity still from Niles. They understand they have to try and find plays now. Getting King off the map. It's a fine play, but still King. You can see he's almost at that Hurricane. And after you do that, you get the, get the big hider, right? The Titanic hider, the one that gives you a lot of HP. That's where, you're no longer able to take Zeri off the map. So for MU still at this point, it's not far enough ahead for them. As that Herald's going to get 2 crashes, and Get Back's picking up the outer, but EG's trading up elsewhere.
King's going to respond to that as that charge did come through. About tier 2 going down. A couple more auto attacks could do it, but you got to get it in there, and the tower survives as Shaden takes a couple tower shots.
I think he's all right with that. Felt more like a love tap for him, as Poppy Yuumi, an older combo, one not quite as strong after the Yuumi changes. Again, you do want to be attached to your, what is it, ally, your partner the entire game. Remember the phrase there, Mazel?
I don't remember. It's like friendship, something along those lines.
I don't know. I feel like cats always want to ride solo, But this cat's just different kind of cat,
Built different cat.
I get the books thing, but the friendship with cats, not usually the case.
So, okay, you've just had bad cats then.
They're kind of lethal predators and hunters. I never had cats. I was a dog person personally.
Well, then there you go. You can't speak on it then, Cubby. You're not allowed to.
My favorite cats are the ones that act like dogs, though.
You just want dogs. You just want more dogs. You don't want more, you want cats. You just want more dogs. All right.
I mean, if you sub, you make a golden retriever smile. Fun fact, actually. That's how American
True.
is.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
Wait, that's how American? I didn't. Yeah. Golden retrievers tied with American.
Yeah. Salute to the players, man.
It is a salute to the players. This whole day has been a heckin' salute to the players, as we've had some wonderful times already, and we got a nice little directed cam to kick off MU's fight.
It's a big engage from Niles, but he's going mini. You can see the damage that Zeri Yuumi pumps out. As nice W from King, actually found Scary Jerry in the back half as well. Yeah, he goes down, but EG, nothing has... They've bent but not broken this game. And that's really what they're looking to do with this composition. So I still feel like EG, they're in a very good state for this one, as those second items are rolling in. And for me, the timers that MU we're going to have to get priority and try and take this win, somewhat running out.
It absolutely is. And King is getting ever more stronger as he has gotten that second item. It is the Runaan's completed now. And this could mean that EG want to push the tempo a little bit. While I still think they can sit back and rest on their laurels perfectly fine, they are looking proactive on the map. Scary Jerry also looking for a little bit of something.
90 seconds till that dragon again. MU, they
Gale
have to hit the
Force
first
on.
fours. Oh boy, Niles.
Oh, Meganar goes, brings him back though. Is it enough? He's not very tanky. As Get Back trying to get over the wall here. Re-engage coming through from Maryville maybe. Ryoma tries to go in with the Everfrost. Can't get it either. Zyko flashing. Oh. Everyone flashing. Maryville running for the hills here. Get Back just trying to set back some of EG.
Good Gale Force by Scary Jerry to dodge out on the flash charm from Ryoma. As a little bit of gut check on the Scary Jerry there. He's able to answer the call early.
And the call answered is a good sign for Scary Jerry, who, again, we are just trying to see how this rising star of an ADC can hang with the Tier 2 representatives, especially hang with a man like King, who has been at the top of our table before, right? Coming back from a break. So it is cool to see Maryville opting into the kind of Lucian combo down here, give a lot of resources, early aggression for Scary Jerry, but it's continued focus for us.
30 seconds away from this dragon. A big part of that last skirmish, Auto Orange did lose his flash. That takes away some options when you're specifically up against a Poppy. As of course, you have to be careful about that steadfast presence as Device. So I want to see if Auto Orange can hide himself and find an engage against EG. This is a timer that MU needs to hit. They need to have successful fights now. Things do not get better for them as the game goes on.
Saw Get Back was looking for a flank, but is being man-marked by Soul. And now after that push into the mid lane from EG, they can just move down to the Dragon Pit here and clear up this vision.
I'd love to see EG really try and find Get Back on this side, but Niles might be too far up.
Get Back is just chilling down there.
Yeah,
man.
Get Back's in a nice spot as he is found by that ward. So now Shaden will try his best to mark Get Back, but Auto Orange has snuck in here. Niles did just pop the Mega. MU, if they don't fight in this timer, it's going to be a little bit until Niles can restack this up. So I think it's going to be a little bit tricky.
Soul's on his way. He's got Zanya's as well. Things are starting to even up for EG now. Get Back trying to catch out King, but he's so damn tanky, you just can't. Ryoma goes for the preemptive Everfrost, missing all the abilities, but trying to get some space for Evil Geniuses. As Soul man-marking Get Back, the rest of the team moves forward into the Dragon Pit.
This isn't great for EG. It's a little tricky. They lost a lot of their health bars.
Just give it.
Props to Maryville. Playing slow. I was kind of asking for them to find a big fight, but playing slow actually pays off here. As Everfrost burned by Soul. He might get chased down.
That's some flashes out. Keeper's Verdict did get pulled there just in case he needed to get utilized. But MU, we're good on the back. But oh no! Get Back! They're going straight in onto you, buddy. They got a Meganar ulti back from Niles. Captain America will save the day again as Auto Orange has picked up the third dragon consecutively for Maryville.
And this is the timer for Maryville, though. We're at 24 minutes in the game, given this draft. They were able to take that first dragon earlier. You're looking at 4 dragons and a soul at this point. The fact that at soul point, EG did a good job of slowing things down very early in the game against the side of Maryville. So EG, they still have time to get this Zeri online. And again, that third item, the Titanic Hydra, gets Zeri so tanky and even more difficult to deal with in one shot. Maryville, that's going to be their strategy still going forward. You have to remove Zeri from the map or else she takes over the fights later. I still think this game state's A-okay for EG.
Right as rain right now with this composition. Very late game scaling, waiting for things to culminate for them. And we're 25 minutes in just about. MU need to put the pedal to the metal. They're about to hit that third iron spike for Scary Jared. You've got the Radiant completed for Auto Orange. But it's the rest of them that need to be a little careful here in the setup. His Get Back will be looking for flanks, but he has to be in position.
You can see EG somewhat stacked up. I'm surprised that no one's matching Get Back out of LeBlanc. LeBlanc does get pretty scary later in the game. A level 16. Very big for LB as that poke. Maybe that, Yumi can help deal with, but still, Get Back hitting a solo inner for himself. Not bad.
Whoa! DP coming in there. Zyko getting low. Niles on the side, stacking up the Meganar. Keeper's Verdict perfectly lands on a Scary Jerry. And that dissuades a ton of the damage that Maryville had. You see, they just are like, what do we do now?
Honestly, that was big, because if that doesn't connect, I think that Maryville might have been able to push up with Scary Jerry trying to find kills onto maybe Ryoma. I mean, Ryoma was out of ult charges. That's pretty big. As that
Oh, no way.
Stays alive. Is that
How much health does that have?
HP? Over under.
Oh, it's under.
Hey, got
No! We didn't get to see.
That's no fair. LeBlanc gets to go back.
That's not how that should work. No, it is exactly how that works.
I mean, that's what EG is thinking right now. They're like, oh man, all that effort to keep that turret alive. You just get the W in and go right back.
Ooh, sneaky snake, get back, is what they're saying. But they're back on the map now for Maryville. And while they had to bear the brunt of a very aggressive move from EGC in the last time they reset on the map, it does feel like once they can get this third item for Get Back and Scary Jerry, they'll have at least some of the damage to pick out specific members, right? The ones you're looking at are King and Ryoma. Those are the two.
Yeah, and honestly, also looking at Niles to do something with this lead. I know it can be harder for Gnar in the fights going forward, especially against a Zeri Yuumi, but Niles does have a big lead, given how much Soul's been grouping in the later half and some good early landing from Niles. So seeing if he can do something with this to make sure that this Zeri stays down will be big, as we're 2 minutes away from the Dragon spawning Mazel. And all eyes for me going to be on King the next time he resets. Are you able to secure that Titanic Hydra? It'll be important to watch.
We're slowing down, Cubby.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit.
Walking through molasses.
I don't have the voice to go through that, you know. I don't quite have the talent that you have there. It's
I see.
just the 5-head.
Is that a get good issue or?
It definitely is. It definitely is a skill issue.
Speaking of Cubby 5-head, you know, if you sub, you do get access to our really cool emotes. Not only the League of Legends emotes, but also our personalized caster emotes. And Cubby has a 5-head one that makes his forehead look like he has a receding hairline, and it's hilarious. It is also adorable, so you know, you get that one.
So, I mean, pretty much the fact you say that, it might be the most accurate of all the caster emotes.
You know, no comment. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, MU, they're also here so they don't get fined, as they need to secure this soul to make sure that their comp is able to get the scaling to match what the Zeri Yuumi will pack later, as Get Back to lose that Banshees. It's a nice small win for EG early on. Ryoma going to use that TP preemptively to get in. And EG have already taken full control over the mid wave. King will catch it high.
Yeah,
and this forces MU to the Baron side.
We got 3 items for both Scary Jerry and King.
What?
Soul getting engaged on here, but Scary Jerry dashed forward preemptively. Kind of left himself out there. They do get one onto Soul. A lot of damage back. Shane will hit the Keeper's Verdict. Get back on the back line. Gets knocked down. Gets dragged out. And King takes that as his signal to move forward. And he says the King is back with Evil Geniuses. Psycho Flashes should just go down to Ryoma. And big stuff from Evil Geniuses.
What a find from Shaden as Get Back not quite quick enough to distort back to his first location. Shaden throws him into the wall and throws the rest of MU into the graves off the back of the damage from King. Oh, that was a big laser. That one connects. Dragon going over to EG. Soul denied. EG pick up some much needed gold for them. And again, this game does not get any easier for MU moving forward.
It does not. That gold advantage, they might have had it the entire game long, but King is sitting at 5-1. 3 items on the Zeri with a Yuumi right underneath him. Smoothie providing the support to make this man stand out, and it was just mechanical execution from EG.
Soul stepped up to throw the cast, so in a way, it's kind of him throwing away his life. Credit to Odd Orange, who had a really nice vault breaker there. Make sure that Gragas could not escape. But this is where the fight changes. It's the wallbang into the charm as Get Back not able to get back to his first location, and King takes over from there.
Does indeed. Almost catching it with the Ultra Shock laser on the back end of it. And ended up cleaning house for EG. And they did get that first dragon, denying MU the soul. And now it just feels like Evil Genius's playground, and MU might be being bullied out of it.
Okay, Soul's going to start. This is spotted on a control ward. Ryoma finds a good chunk on the Odd Orange. Of course, can get healed up a little bit by Milio, but
all right, they're going to commit.
going to be pulled. Niles just burned Mega, so he is going to be mini for this fight.
No.
That's important.
That's really rough. Odd Orange just moving forward. Now Final Chapter comes forward. As soon as you overextend like that, EG are going to smack it right into your face. You missed the engage, and EG take your life. Killing spree for King as he's going forward now. They got another lockdown, and a double kill comes across for King.
Yeah, I fear that the Zeri Yumi is indeed online, as that is a 7-1-2 Zeri. And guess what? Tom has Jerry in his back pocket. King, welcome back to NA, buddy. That piece is solved, and I think that passport is all EG needs to make sure they take this first game win.
And again, it comes off of Smoothie feeling more confident with this duo. Them just feeling more confident to have the roster that they initially tried to put together for Evil Geniuses. And to have King, who is already knowingly so confident in his ability. But the second he smells blood in the water, he's going straight to lap it up.
And I love really how Shaden's playing around this too. I feel like he's opening up so much space. And every time that he's throwing someone into a wall, yeah, as you call out, Mazal, King's right there to follow. Someone that, I mean, I love when this guy, I thought he was looking at his best when he was on Saya. But after that, Kaisa, Tristana, Champs, where you have to pick your spots to go in. He's doing that really well here with the Zeri. Plenty far ahead now, has the Black Cleaver, as if he needed any more damage. The Shred's going to help him out against MU. And I don't think anyone can deal with this Zeri. They just picked the lane that had the most turrets in it. That's the outer falling. They're marching towards the inner. And EG again marching towards this game 1 victory.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the Baron buff as well. A lot of strength in that here for the siege on the tier 2 towers. King just wanting a little extra Gromp action there while they go to take this tier 2. Falls mightily fast as Evil Genius is putting all their eggs under the bot lane basket.
King's like, you know, we won this lane, right? Look at scoreboard. So ignore the fact we just took that outer turret at 30 minutes, right?
God, they take it so fast. It's just gone.
Continue to push as King. That's one inhibitor. No contest from MU. Hard to imagine contest the next one.
There was a 2,000 goldie consistently for the last 30 minutes of MU's career here in this game. And now, just like that, 2,000 gold ahead is EG. Big Mega Gnar from Niles. Is he Captain America? Or are they going quietly into the night of game number 1? It looks like it might be the latter as an Ultra Shock laser connects on a Scary Jerry. Niles goes down to King, and they're going for the inhib mid lane now.
I mean, yeah, 5-man Mega Gnar, I guess still not enough. That's kind of the game state that we're in is, okay, Soul Dash forward. He actually might go down here. That's a nice chain. Going to be forced back by King. Still, I would love to see MU push this. I don't think the game gets much better for them.
Zyko! Oh, God! He's gone!
Okay.
Melio's just a little child!
Okay.
King is dominant in 9-in-1 fashion on this Zeri. And they're TPing into the bottom to finish this game, Cubby.
Welcome back, King. You look damn good in this one. As credit to Shaden as well. I think EG did a nice job of playing towards some of their win cons in this game. MU, that first dragon being delayed, I think got really hurtful for them as this one moved forward, because you can see what happens when this goes late.
Well, EGC give a rightful welcome to Maryville here with a couple more kills going into their pockets. Both rosters were the rosters that were promised, but this time the King comes out on top. Big Mega Gnar at the last second, but Soul knows exactly where to go. One auto attack from Soul in game 1 goes the way of Evil Geniuses.
And when are we going to nerf these two champions, please? Just get them out of here, man. It's like the game gets like, you get 3 items and it's just like game over, right? You can't. I mean, we've seen 2 teams try and play into it so far. Curious we have another team try and play into it the next one, as MU have a choice aside, I believe, and we'll see where they end up going as that game. I will say they picked for lane. You can see that the individuals for this collegiate team somewhat able to hang with some of the individuals that we have on the side of our Challenger squad. Still promising for MU moving forward, but they need a little bit more in game 2. They want to put a win on the board against EG.
It is indeed. Now we're going to take a little break. We'll have a halftime bit after this, so don't you go anywhere.